Inspiration. We all get that feeling. We're watching a movie about some guy that goes from rags to riches, or some underdog that wins. We're sitting at a momentous occasion, we're at a holiday or a funeral, or we're at a wedding, and we get that feeling. We're inspired, and we want to be great. We want to lose that weight, we want to get that A, we want to be that child, that spouse, that husband or wife that we know that we can be. And then we take a few steps, things are going great, and then something happens. We get wiped out, and we're back where we started before. What is inspiration? What is it not? And how do we utilize it to be the best that we can be? The holiday coming up is the holiday called Shavuot. It's a relatively unknown holiday, which is weird because this is the holiday that commemorates the most cataclysmic day in the history of the world. The day that God revealed himself to an entire nation of people, 3 million men, women, and children, and handed them a book of laws, principles, and rules for eternity. But if you look at the events that led up to Mount Sinai, you see something very strange. Roll it back a few weeks. Jews walk out of Egypt and they're flying high. I mean, how could you not be? You were slaves, then you watched God rimrock the Egyptians for 10 of the coolest plagues ever, and now you're free. And right just as they're outside the Egypt and in the desert, Pharaoh comes and spoils the fun, because he's trying to capture them. So Pharaoh comes out, trying to get the Jews. Now the Jews are stuck. You've got the Red Sea on one side, you've got Pharaoh on the other side, and it's checkmate, game over. And then God comes and does the unthinkable. He splits the sea. And the Jews walk through the sea, through the other side, and as the Egyptians follow, God returns the sea, the Egyptians are gone, and the Jews are saved forever and ever and ever, and the Jews go psycho. I mean, singing and dancing and hugging, pointing up to God. It was like winning the Super Bowl. They were going crazy. They were so inspired. It was amazing. If you were God's program director, what would you do next? Well, if I was God's program director, I would tell the Jews, listen, enjoy the moment, splitting the sea is really cool, take the night off, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Mount Sinai, let's give you the book, let's close the deal, let's make this real. Right? A, B, C, always be closing, you gotta close when the buyer's hot. What does God do? Nothing. A week? 2 weeks? 49 days before the Jews leave Egypt till they finally get to Mount Sinai. For 49 days? What are you doing for so long? They're just hanging out in the desert doing nothing? Why does God wait so long? Let me answer this question with a story. A few years ago, I went to visit a buddy of mine in New Jersey. I get there and I notice all the traffic and streetlights are out. It's a blackout. Don't know where I'm going. I pull my car to the side. I start to walk and see if I can find this house. But as I'm walking, I just get more lost. I can't find anything. It's pitch black. As I'm going, I hear a rumble. That sky's about to rain rumble. Next thing I know, crack, lightning, drizzle, downpour. Now I'm sitting in the guy's neighborhood, totally drenched. I don't know where I'm going. Then I realized it's going to crack and be light again. So if I can focus on where I'm going when it's light, maybe I can find my way. Rumble, crack, look, that looks familiar. I keep on walking. It's dark, it's raining, I just keep on chugging along knowing that it's going to crack and be lightning again. And it does. Crack, lightning, that looks familiar. Keep on walking. A few minutes later, find myself on my friend's block, totally reached his house, even in the blackout. The secret to inspiration is that inspiration isn't the time where we're supposed to be doing most of our growing. Inspiration is a time where we take a step back and realize what we could be. It's the light in the darkness. It's how great we can become. And then we start the journey knowing full well that it's going to get dark and rainy real soon. It's going to get too hard. We're going to be too tired. We're going to be too busy. It's going to be too much for us to make the call or to pass on dessert or hit the gym or hit the library. It'll be too hard. It's dark and rainy. But if we push through during those times, that's when we achieve greatness. When we go through when it's hard and keep on moving towards the light that we saw earlier, knowing full well that there'll be a light again real soon that inspires us to see even further, and we keep on going, that's how we become great. See the light, push through the darkness, see the light, push through the darkness, over and over and over again until we achieve all of our goals and become the best that we can be. The reason why God waited to give the Jews the Torah, because God knows the whole inspirational thing. He knew that if he handed the Jews the Torah after he split the sea, of course they're going to accept it. They were rocking, they were on cloud 9. But they would have woken up a few weeks later and said, whoa, what's this whole Torah thing? I mean, we're in the moment. God says, no. If you're going to be the nation that gets this Torah, you got to understand the concept of inspiration. You got to know how to take that light and grow in the darkness. Hang out in the desert for 40 days, doing nothing. Take the inspiration and make it real. Grow in the desert, in the dark, in the rain. And when they do, they get to come up to Mount Sinai knowing to take the light in the darkness, to keep on moving. And then God can hand them the Torah and say, now you got it. Now grow with this for the rest of eternity. That's the lesson of Shavuot. When we get inspired, and we all do, That's the time when we take a step back and say, how great can I be? Let me start going there. And then when it gets dark and rainy, when it gets too hard, when you get too tired, when you get too busy, and you keep on pushing, then you achieve greatness. To the next light, to the darkness pushing, lightness, over and over and over again, until one day you wake up and you look to the left and you look to the right and you're on your own Mount Sinai. And God's looking at you face to face and He's smiling ear to ear. Happy Shavuot.